Let's read the problem below, then explore different ways to calculate the surface area of a triangular prism. How many square feet of nylon fabric would be needed to make the camping tent shown below, including the floor? That's a key word there, including the floor. Picture. You can draw and label the dimensions of the 5 faces of this prism. The tent is in the shape of a right triangular prism. The bases of the prism are 2 triangles that are the same size and shape, and here they are. 6 feet, 5 feet, the height is 4 feet as you can see, okay, and then obviously 5 feet, okay. Both triangles are congruent, they're the same. The other faces of the prisms are the 3 rectangles, which is 7 3/4 feet by 5 feet, right, by 5 feet, okay. Don't let the fraction distract you from how to find the surface area of this tent. Let's solve it. You can use the formulas to find the areas of the faces. So you should know that area of a rectangle with length L and width W is area equals length times width. Area of a triangle with base B and height H is area equals 1/2 times base times height. It's also on your reference sheet. Let's connect it. Now you will use the model and formulas to find the surface area and solve the problem. Question 2. How can you find the areas of the faces of the prism? Think about that. Question 3. Do you have to find the area of 5 different figures? Explain your thinking. Question 4. What is the area of a triangular base? Show your work. Question 5. What are the areas of the rectangular faces? Show your work. Question 6. Write and solve an equation to find the total surface area of the tent. Be sure to define your variables. And last question, 7. Use your own words to explain how to find the surface area of a right triangular prism. So, what we're going to ask you to do now is pause this video, take your time, solve all the questions to the best of your capability, and when you're ready to see your answers and check your answers, just unpause the video and you'll see the answers. Let's look at question 2. How can you find the areas of the faces of the prism? We did that before. We showed you substitute the measurements. You know in the formulas for the area of rectangle and a triangle. Okay, so here you have the formula, and instead of L and W, you put in, or you substitute the measurements. Okay, length, width, length, width. All right, same thing with the triangles. Base, height, you just substitute the measurements. Question 3. Do you have to find the areas of 5 different figures? And explain your thinking. Well, the answer is no. Think about that. The triangular bases will have the same area, and 2 of the rectangular faces will have the same area. So you only have to find the area. Let's look back. You only have to find the area of this triangle, multiply by 2, because there's 2 of them, of this rectangle, and multiply that by 2, because there's 2 of them, and then 1 for this rectangle. Right, that's the base. 6 by 7 3/4. Okay. Now, what is the area of the triangular base? Well, and it says to show your work, so I'm hoping you wrote the formula first. 1/2 times base times height. They already plugged in the values. Area equals 1/2. The base we know is 6, and the height we know is 4. Okay, and then when you do it, 6 times 4 is 24, times 1/2 is 12. So the area of the triangular bases is 12 feet squared. Let's see why the base is 6 and the height is 4. Base is 6, the height is not 5, that's at an angle, it's got to be straight down. So the height is 4, as you can see. Question 5. What are the areas of the rectangular faces? And show your work. And again, area of one of the side of the faces is area which is length times width, 7 3/4 times 5. When you do this math, you get 38 3/4 feet squared. Area of the floor, right? Different dimensions. So it's length times width and 7 3/4 times 6. If you don't remember why those are the dimensions, go back in this video. Okay, when you multiply them, you get 46.5 feet squared. Write and solve an equation to find the total surface area of the tent, and be sure to define your variables. Now remember, surface area is finding the area of each of the faces. Remember, there's 5 faces here. So find the area of each face and add them up, right? There's 5 faces here. Okay? So, one possible answer, let L equal the area of the triangular base, M, area of each side of the tent, and N, area of the tent floor. So, you got area equals 2L because there's 2 triangular bases, plus 2M because there's 2 sides, plus N. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that to make sure you guys got that. The reason they did 2 times L, again, there's 2 triangular bases. So you find the area of one triangular base plus the other one. So or you can do 2L. Same thing with the sides, and then you have the floor. So now, we already did the math. We know that the triangular base, okay, is 12 feet squared as far as the area. So you multiply by 2. We also know that this one of the side areas is 38 3/4. There it is. And you multiply by that by 2. And this one you do not multiply by 2 because there's only one floor. So there it is. And then you add all 3 together. Now, if you have problems adding fractions, then I will break that down for you right now. But the answer is 194 1/2 feet squared. Let me break that down for you, or how we can add them. Okay, for those who are still struggling with adding fractions, let me use the color red. So first off, let me do this whole math. 2 times 12, okay, plus 2 times 38 3/4 plus 46.5. Okay. Alright, we know 2 times 12 is 24. We got that. Okay, let me do this. So now 2 times 38 3/4. Let me use a different color, and let me do it right here. Alright, 2 times 38 3/4. Okay, 2 times 38 3/4. Well, one way of doing this, I mean, there's multiple ways of solving it, but one way of doing this is to make this an improper fraction and also the 2. So you can do 2 over 1 times, now you got to make this an improper fraction. For those who forgot, you do 38 times 4 plus 3. So 38 times 4 is 152 plus 3 is 155. So this is equivalent to 155 over 4. Okay? And now you can multiply numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. Let's do the easy one first. 1 times 4 we know is 4. And 2 times 155 is 310. And I'm going to leave that as a fraction. Okay? So I'm going to put 310 over 4 plus 46.5. Okay? Now let's add them up. I'm going to take the 310 and make that into a mixed number. When you do that, you should get 77 1/2. Okay? Think about that. 4 goes into 310 77 times. 77 times 4 is 308. And therefore there's 2 left over 4, which makes it 1/2. Plus 46 and a half. Now let's do the math. Well, 77 plus 46 gives us 123. Plus a half and a half gives us a whole. So it's 124. And 124 plus 24 gives us 148 feet squared. And the reason I'm talking slow is because these two don't match. So it looks like, unless I missed something, the book messed up. And that happens. We're only human. We all mess up. So it's great to always double check your work. This is perfect that we broke it down. We double checked our work. I'm assuming I did not make a mistake, but again, you never know. And I think they just multiplied wrong somewhere or added wrong. So please, for those who thinks they can figure this out, try it. And then let me know if I made a mistake or they did. Now let's look at question 7. Use your own words to explain how to find the surface area of a right triangular prism. Well, multiply the area of one of the bases by 2 and add that to the areas of the 3 rectangular faces, which we did. And it looks like they did it wrong. I'm going to double check that again just to double check, but I think they messed up, which happens. So please let me know. Now let's try it. Use what you just learned about finding the surface area of a triangular prism to solve the following problems. Show your work on a separate sheet of paper. Question 8. The surface area of the prism shown is 200 square units. They're giving you the surface area. Okay, think about that. When they give you the surface area and volume, that's when equations comes in and you got to solve the equations. Okay, write and solve an equation, there it is, to find the value of x. So you need to find this value when you're given the surface area. Then, question 9, suppose a cube has the same surface area as the prism in problem 8. Find the edge length of the cube. This is where I would draw it out, think about it, and then solve it. Take your time. It is imperative that you take your time on this and think it through. Again, pause the video. When you're done pausing, when you're done solving, unpause the video to check your answers. For these questions, this is for high-level students. So if you feel like you're stuck on this, you don't have to solve this. This is only for Tier 5 students, Tier 4 and 5 to be honest. So if you are stuck on this, again, do not worry about that. There's other videos that will give you problems to solve surface area. As long as you know, you need to know how to find surface area, which is basically finding the area of each face of a 3-dimensional shape. Okay, and we'll do more questions like that in the classroom. But for those Tier 4 and 5 students, if you want to try it, that'll be great. I'm just going to give you the answers, and then we will go over those in class, because this is some of it's 8th grade level stuff, so as you can see. Okay, so again, pause the video, solve them, and then you can check your answers. And again, if you have questions, come see me. So here's the question. Here's the answer for question 8. The answer will be x equals 6. All right, and they show you why. All right, they show you that one of the faces is 8 by 7, as you can see, 8. Okay, by 7. And then another face is 10 by 7. These are the rectangular faces. And then another one 6 by 7. The question, how do you get the 6? Which is this one. Think about that. If you're stuck, or if you got it, great. But if you're stuck, come see me. And then question 9, the answer is also 6 units. Again, if you have any questions, come see me, and I'll break this down for you.